Hi, everybody. Welcome. This is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And this is Sweet Baby James, otherwise known as James Maynard.
And tonight I am going to talk about, does love make you strong or weak? Why and what to do about it? So do join us, because I think this is going to be a lot of fun and very exciting. But before I start on the topic itself, I'd like to ask Sweet Baby James to introduce our show.
Yes, you've come to Inner Revolution, changing the world from the inside out, which we address every Monday and Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, where we get a chance to hear the wisdom, the wit, and the uncommon sense of Granny Beth. So without further ado, take it away, Granny.
Okay. So, love, okay, this is obvious. So, hello, Elizabeth says hello. Hello, Elizabeth. Love is a critical need of humans and seemingly many other species. I mean, dogs seem to need love, cats need, cows seem to, anyway. No wonder it's such a tricky place to navigate. It's easy to see a young person giving up their values and self-respect to be held or cherished.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Oh, yeah, I did that. But then the same thing happens to us old people. We do the same thing. Of course, we don't do that. I mean, we're so above that, but we do. So, and the same thing can happen in our relationships to groups, families, and so on. And Tracy said hello.
Hello, Tracy.
Well, hello, Tracy. It's good to see you live. So, since this is such a big issue, I think I really need to take a look at this question in depth. So, does love make you strong or weak? Let's take a look at and score two examples from my life. I found a digital keyboard. Some of you know I play the piano. I play the piano every Thursday night. Dreams of Peace, right here on our Facebook page. But I've also tried to play a digital keyboard so that I could take it out and play for people. So anyway, I found a digital keyboard and I love the sound. And the company's representative and I started talking and we related and I felt loved. It felt great. You know, he was taking care of me. He cared about whether or not we could make this work, and et cetera, et cetera. So then...
And he gave you a good deal.
Gave me a good deal. Then he sends me the thing, and there's a problem with it. But there I am. I did tell him that there was a problem, and he didn't respond. But I didn't pursue it, right? I know I needed to pursue it. I needed to return it. I needed to ask for my money back. I needed them to fix it. But I just couldn't bring myself to take care of myself. I wanted him to continue to love me. I wanted him to continue to take care of me. Oh, my God, some of you can relate to this. So, you know, I can't upset Sugar Daddy because, you know, he holds my life in his hands.
Don't make waves. Don't rock the boat.
Don't rock the Sugar Daddy boat. So anyway, I procrastinated in taking care of business, I'm embarrassed to say. So strong or weak? Well, at first I felt strong, right, because he was taking care of me and I got a good deal, right? But in the end, I couldn't bring myself to confront the issue. And so net score, weak, right? Now, I want to say that I have taken care of it because I couldn't possibly go onto this show if I had not done something. So I wrote to him tonight, a few months late, but anyway. Now, on the other hand, oh, Debbie said, hi, Beth and James. Glad I caught this before work. Oh, so good to see you, Debbie. Okay. Now, last night, I watched a video about a classical pianist who was playing a gorgeous piece of music. And in fact, Sweet Baby James was watching with me. Well, it was very impressive. So after the video, I felt weak. I felt like I'm just no good. I can't play like that. Well, I can't. I'm crippled. I'm 75. I'm in pain all the time. I can hardly, I don't know how I play the way I do. It's a miracle that I'm playing at all. But I couldn't play what he was doing. You know, it's like 14 notes at the same time, you know, with these giant hands and his nose, right? So I was really, really feeling I can't go on. I can't play anymore. I just should stop playing the piano. I hope some of you can relate to
You
this.
felt weak. You felt unsupported.
I did. I felt so bad. So anyway, I thought I knew I needed to go play the piano. It's like I got to face this, right? So I asked James, and he came and he supported me, and he sat down and I played for him, and he loved it. And I started to see myself through his eyes, strong or weak. What did the love do? Strong. Net score, strong. So,
And you played wonderfully, by the way.
thank you.
Wonderfully.
Thank you. That's why I keep him around, you know. So anyway, the same person in relationship can make you strong or weak, as we saw in the first case. And it's also true with Sir James. If he supports me in doing something, his support makes me strong. If he doesn't support me in doing something, his lack of support will make me weak, if only on an unconscious level. I may not even be aware of it. And now why is that? Because feeling love makes us feel that we are not alone in the world and we don't have to face life without support. So it makes us feel strong, right? Oh my God, I don't have to do this all by myself. On the other hand, we want to please a person who loves us so that they will continue the support. So if we cross them, they might withdraw their support, so it can make us weak. So, and if it's a son or a daughter and they have kids, they're
By the way, I just want to parenthetically say that last thing you said is a dynamic that we've experienced with our parents many, many times.
Many times.
Many times. We're afraid to cross them for fear they won't love us.
That's right. So that will make us weak. And if we have a son or a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and they might be withdrawing their support,
And if they have kids.
If they have kids, then they are going to have control over the grandkids too. So now we're double hostages. Oh my, it looks like we have some comments.
Mm-hmm.
Todd said hi.
Hi,
Island
Todd.
said, I'm always too nice. I bet you are. Amy said, that's wonderful, Beth. I don't know what that's
Thank
wonderful.
you all.
And Todd said, so true. So that's great. Thank you. Oh, that was probably about you supporting me, sweet baby James. So, we become hostages around the grandkids, right? Now, if it's a work situation and the boss feels loved or flattered by us, will they turn against us if we stop loving or flattering them? See, that will make us weak. On the other hand, will they favor us because they love us? Oh, well, that can make us feel strong. See, it's really problematic, isn't it? Will they give us a raise because they love us? Possibly. They'll possibly make us stronger. So, if we feel connected to someone, we might actually even feel their feelings without recognizing it. So, being close to somebody can make us weak because we may be having feelings that aren't ours and we don't even know it. Right?
Yeah.
So we might feel strong or weak depending on how they feel. I know that's true with James. When he feels strong and optimistic, I tend to feel stronger and more optimistic. And when he's feeling depressed, I tend to go down the toilet. Amy said that's right. Yes. So that was probably about the question that I asked. So it doesn't matter whether we love them or they love us. We are vulnerable either way. If we love someone, we want them to love us back or smile upon us. If they love us, we want to keep their love. Either way, we're kind of, in trouble, screwed. So the experience of love, in fact, is similar either way, whether we're loving someone or they're loving us, because love is an energy. It's like a feeling that we have in the universe. We're just feeling the energy of love. So if somebody is loving us or we're loving them, either way, you see, we are feeling at the energy of love, and it makes us feel warm and good. And so, right. So what I'm saying is, this is not about, if I love you or if about you love me. It's the energy of love can have this impact on us. So now you might ask, what do you do? Would you ask that?
What do you do?
Good, thank you. Well, first of all, I'm going to give you some hints.
I'm sure that's a surprise question.
I'm going to give you some hints. Number one, be careful who you sleep with. Now, a lot of times people will tell you that about AIDS or some other STD, but I mean literatively,
Figuratively or literally?
literally and figuratively. Be careful who you sleep with. The person you sleep with physically will impact your energy and your feelings even when you're asleep.
You've experienced that a lot with
I
me.
have. Their attitudes and feelings can commingle with yours, and you may wake up not knowing what hit you, and that what hit you was their thoughts and feelings. I will go to bed in one mood and wake up in another, and it's
Or wake up in the middle of the night because you couldn't sleep because of the
something that was
impacted
going
by
on with James.
somebody else's
So,
emotions.
be careful who you sleep with. I mean, I'm not your mother telling you moralistically, don't screw the guy you met at the bar. I'm talking as one human being to another saying, this can be dangerous, right? Plus, they could kill you, but, Okay. Also, the people you hang out with, because we're back with the, be careful who you sleep with, the people you hang out with as a group can subtly impact your thoughts, feelings, and judgments. You might find yourself being violent or angry to match them.
Mm-hmm.
You might find your tastes being impacted as well. All of a sudden, you like music you didn't like, or you're wearing your clothes differently, or you've changed your makeup, or whatever you've done. And it's really because you're being impacted by your desire to stay connected to those people. Now, the next thing you can do, other than be careful who you're sleeping with, is observe the people surrounding you and become aware of their attitudes and agendas. If you recognize that your friends are intent upon winning an argument, a sports match, a chess tournament, a war, then you are more likely to notice whether or not you have been swept away in their feelings and thoughts. See, if you're not aware, if you're not looking at them objectively and saying, gee, I wonder what my friends and cohorts and husband or wife or other significant whatever, if you're not aware, you just are going to be impacted by those thoughts and feelings, and you will never even have noticed that they're not yours.
Mm-hmm.
Not the next thing, diversify your love pool. Sounds funny, doesn't it? You may be madly in love with him, her, or them, but that will make you vulnerable to the downside of love. If you have a larger pool of love to warm you, you will be less vulnerable. If you've only got the one, guys, you are, as we say in Yiddish, auf Zurs, which means you are in trouble. It just sounds better in Yiddish, doesn't it? Anyway.
No, what do you say to somebody who, say, is a battler who says, oh, yeah, larger pool of love. I'm going to play the field.
Well, playing the field is loving nobody.
Ooh.
I'm talking about genuine love relationships. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, another boyfriend or another girlfriend or another them friend. It can be more like other friends or other influences or reading
even
books or family or people who you relate to.
So it's a support system where there's real connections and love between you and the others.
Exactly. And so all of these, because you can be negatively influenced by anybody at any time. But if you have that diversity, then you are less likely to be taken over. It's like, again, that teenager who falls in love and suddenly they find themselves doing things that they regret later. Them and the kids that they give birth to right shortly after. So anyway, and one more thing I want to say. Remember that your self-love will evaporate if your need for love turns you into someone you don't like or respect. I am not saying that we only need self-love. In fact, I absolutely do not believe that. Sometimes others have to love us before we can love ourselves. And that happens very frequently. And if we haven't been loved in our life, it's difficult for us to love ourselves. But on the other hand, guys, if we end up not loving ourselves because of our addiction to pleasing others or fitting in with them to their love, we will end up feeling like sellouts to ourselves. And not only won't we be loving ourselves anymore, but we will stop loving them too. We'll stop loving the people and groups for whom we sacrificed our self-respect. Once we catch on that we have, that love can turn to hate. And then all the love is gone. So I'm just going to reiterate right now, if I can get this thing working, what you can do. Just to reiterate, be careful who you sleep with. Literally and figuratively, you are going to be impacted by the people you sleep with, the people that you're close to. I mean, physically sleep with and people you're close to. Second thing, observe the people surrounding you and become aware of their attitudes and agendas so that you can start noticing, oh, okay, that's so-and-so's feelings. Those really aren't my feelings. But if you don't actually pay attention and become aware of what they're thinking and feeling, you might just get swept up. Observe the people, as I say. Then diversify your love pool. You may be madly in love with someone, but that will make you vulnerable to the downside of love. So have other people or interests in your life so that when things are messy with someone you're very, very connected to, you have somewhere to go for that support so you don't give yourself away completely. And finally, remember that your self-love will evaporate if your need for love turns you into someone you don't like and respect. And then not only don't you love yourself anymore, you won't love them either.
I'd like to add something about this having a pool of love, and that is, it's often happened with me that even in a loving relationship like you and I have, when there are times when we have a disagreement, an argument, or a falling out, it's so helpful to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody and talk to them and get another perspective and try to get balanced out. And it has, when I've done that, it's helped me to get balanced out and come back with less of an alienated, sort of emotional, polarized kind of way of being.
Well, that's a very good point, sweet baby James, because sometimes when the person who we love or who loves us tells us something that makes us feel uncomfortable, we feel betrayed. Even though they may be right and they may be trying to help us, we may go into this victimhood of betrayed. Oh, I love them. What they're supposed to love me.
How can they talk to me that way?
Well, they're not supposed to behave that way, something like that. And so all of a sudden, we are caught up in turning against them, even though they may have actually done the most loving things possible. So what you're saying is so important too, is like get some perspective. And whatever you do, don't go to people who are automatically going to back you up.
Right.
That's just selling yourself out again. Oh, I so much want to be loved that I'm going to tell. In fact, sometimes we exaggerate how bad things are in order to elicit the love and the compassion and the sympathy of somebody that we know is going to love us. And so then we blow the thing way out of proportion in order to make sure that everybody knows how much we're suffering so that they will give us even more love. So that is making us vulnerable to becoming victims and losing our power altogether. So that's really helpful. So it doesn't look like we don't have a lot of comments today or loves or likes. I hope that you love and like this show afterwards. On our post, you've got our website. Also, once the post is up and it says learn more, you can click on that and you'll get to our website, bethgreen.org. And you can show us how much you love us by making a donation. If you can afford it, it's tax deductible if you're, under the U.S. tax rules. And you can just love us by sharing. I'll feel very loved by that, or liking, or giving us a comment. I'm easy. And Eileen said, obsession with someone can be very painful. It can indeed, Eileen.
I've been there.
And Tracy said, I've been taking notes. Oh, goody. I'm glad to hear that.
Good for you, Tracy.
I hope that this show was very helpful. Come back tomorrow night for Dreams of Peace, where I play the piano and not the keyboard for everybody. And
a very grand piano indeed.
Very, very grand piano. No digital piano for me. I can't figure out how to. They're too hard to play so far. And then every Monday and Wednesday, as Baby James said, we are back with Inner Revolution, changing the world from the inside out. So we look forward to seeing you again, and we always love your support. And share, if you agree, share.
Thanks for coming, and keep coming.
Keep coming back.
Keep coming back.
Bye-bye.
It's fun to share with you. Okay, bye-bye.